and speak about perspective and manifestation. How, when you change your perspective, you change the way you manifest, the way that you think, and the way that you experience life. So I feel like what happens with a lot of people is the perspective is still from a human perspective, and that's fine, but it's just very limiting, and it's more about changing the way that your mind works and expanding the way that you think. So changing your perspective from just simply being a human being on earth who's stuck and can't do anything about life to putting yourself in the driver's seat of your life and manifesting the life that you want. And this is not just speaking about manifestation in a material sense, but just changing the way that you experience life and changing the way that everything happens around you. Whether you want just a better relationship with somebody or just changing your life completely. It's all a matter of perspective. Now, what typically happens with people is as soon as you want something, you have a desire that swells up inside of you, and this you can't help at all. It just happens to you. So what happens is you want something. You have a problem. Let's say you live somewhere and you want to move out. You don't have any money and you want to gain more money. You're single and you want a relationship, whatever it may be. The reality is that your problem makes your desired outcome obvious. It's always, you have a problem, here is the solution. Now, what we always get mixed up is if you have a problem, you always go, well, how am I going to get there? So it's not just a two-step process, it's now adding a third thing in the middle. And you've heard the phrase before, cut out the middleman, but that is the middleman because it's always, I want this, but how? So let's say you want to get married. You say, I want to get married to this type of person. I want to get married on the beach and I want it to be this way. So there's three things. So instead of just being manifesting that, it's always, well, how am I going to meet this person? I don't really know anybody in my friend circle. How is that going to happen? That's the first how. I want to get married on the beach. That's the second how. I don't have any money to afford that. I want it to be a specific way. How is it going to be like that? So what gives you a headache and what gives you all of that stress and that anxiety is actually just how. And that's all. There is nothing else. Or it can be the way that you think of your manifestation, the perspective, in other words. So usually, and some people use vision boards to manifest or just pictures, like you see a picture of a mansion or you see a picture of money. Now, what happens is typically, it depends on how you see what you are seeing with your eyes, what interpretation you have, that will determine what feeling you get within yourself. So what I mean is, if you're broke and you don't have any money, or you just want more money, or you want to be more successful, whatever it is, if you see a mansion, if you see money, a picture of it, you have a vision board, you're trying to manifest, you have to analyze within yourself, what is it that is within you? How do you feel about it? Because when you see it, does it make you feel like you're lacking? Does it make you feel like you can't have more? Because some people actually feel worse when they see pictures of a mansion because it makes them feel so far away. It makes them feel like they cannot have it and they don't have it. So then the perspective is, I don't have. The perspective is, I will never have. And so that's the problem. And then that's when you get into how. How am I going to get this done? How is it going to be possible? But then that's the middleman I was talking about. You have to cut out the middleman. It should always be just a two-step process. And to get into Bible mysticism, it goes like this. It simply goes, you have a problem, and here's the solution. I have a little whiteboard here. Hopefully it'll help you guys understand. Problem, solution, just a two-step phase. And in the Bible, right, mysticism, it's like this, right? Because in manifestation, you are the creator. So it goes like this. Hopefully you guys can see this. Problem, solution. That's it. You cut out the how. And in the Bible, it's explained like this. God is Alpha and Omega. That is how you create. Alpha and Omega meaning the beginning and the end. That's it. There is no how. So it's a matter of changing your perspective. You want to be in the driver's seat of creating your life, of creating everything that you want for yourself, your experiences, whatever that you want for yourself. Because this is how it happens, by changing the way that you think. Changing from just simply being a victim to life to now moving into creation, moving into what you would want for yourself. Imagine if God, right, wanted to create something, the world, and he said, well, I don't know how this is going to be done. I don't know how this is going to happen. This is how we do things. So it's very important for us to take that out and just say, well, I want this, and put yourself in the end, but not from the perspective of this is out of my reach. It's just putting yourself in that physical sensation that it's already completed and already yours. And that's all. That'll help you tremendously. Now, there's two ways you can feel what is real to you, and that's using your physical sense organs, and that's using your mind, your imagination. Now, usually people get stuck on, well, I can only usually feel through my physical sense organs, right? But you can think of being in a dream, where when you're dreaming, you feel everything as if it was real. You feel it in a way where it's like, well, this is happening. And no matter what's happening, no matter how crazy the dream is, everything is happening in real life. It is very real. So this is the state that you're looking for when you're manifesting, when you're meditating, when you're visualizing. Everything is real, as if it was happening with your physical sense organs, your eyes, your feeling, your sense of smell, hearing, everything. That's how it's supposed to be. So when you're meditating, when you're trying to manifest, that's the state you're looking for, using those sensations within you, not using your physical ones, but using your own mind and then using your own mental faculty to do so. So this simple change can help you get there, adjusting the way that you think. So it's always putting yourself in that end result, using your own mind, using whatever you can to get there, and always looking at it from a perspective that you are the creative faculty in your life. There's nothing stopping you, just your own mind saying all the time, how is it going to be done? This is impossible. It's never going to be done. But just use your mind always to get to that end result. So here's one of my favorite stories in the Bible to explain this, actually. This is mysticism again, where Moses was trying to cross the Red Sea. Now, this happens to every single one of us. So I'm going to draw another picture here. When it comes to manifestation, it looks like this. Very simple breakdown. You have a desire. Now, how is it going to get done? So Moses is an aspect within you. So I'm going to draw a little picture here on the whiteboard. Moses. And now he has to cross something called the Red Sea, right? So the Red Sea. Okay. Hopefully this will make sense for everybody. All right. So this is how it goes. This is you, Moses. You have something that you want, right? Your desire. You want more money. You want to get married, whatever it is. This is that. Now you have to cross the Red Sea. So it's always, well, at the other side of this Red Sea, there is what I want, your desired outcome. And then this is the how, the Red Sea. The reason it's the Red Sea is because the Red Sea represents your emotions, your doubt. Red is the color of passion, or the color of the devil, in other words, Red Sea. So the way you cross this is by just walking through it straight. So what happens in the story is God splits the Red Sea. So the Red Sea, in other words, what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what the obstacle is. All you have to do is walk through it, and it'll split for you. That is what this story is telling you in manifestation terms. When you split the Red Sea, you're splitting the way that you think. You're expanding the way that you think and understand life. You are walking through it, walking through your doubt, the emotions that stop you. So you're putting yourself now to your desired state straight there. You're not worrying about how things are going to be done. Perspective is very important. Perspective is one of the better things that you can do within your life because it's something that you can actually train and expand. It's not like you're stuck forever in the way that you think. You can be stuck physically in the way that you experience life, but your perspective can actually change everything around you. So there's a big difference. So if you ever wonder, here's another thing, how when two people go through the same thing, one person can be traumatized and one person doesn't. It's a matter of perspective. And I'm not saying that trauma is something that, I'm not trying to make light of trauma or anything like this, because everybody has their own perspective. It's just something that happens. It's a matter of perspective. What happened to you is filtered differently through everybody. So it's beneficial for you to change your perspective in order for you to not have things weigh you down, or at least benefit you in a way where you can move on with your life and manifest. So it's a matter of changing the way that you think, not so much trying to do something physically. And the way the Bible puts this is we walk by faith and not works, using your mental capacity, not always doing things physically. But when you do things from a changed perspective, it'll help you achieve what you want in the end. And this is always the end result, always the end goal. So I just wanted to hop on here and explain that. Just change the way that you think, change your perspective, just simply changing from thinking like a person, a human being, and putting yourself in the creator's seat, or being like God, in other words, not questioning yourself. Just putting yourself in that position. What can I do to change my perspective about myself? Not what can I physically do to change my life? Just put yourself in the desired state, the desired outcome, and it'll help you tremendously. If anybody has any questions, you can always feel free to ask them below as well. But yeah, I'm just a little bit under the weather, in case you hear me a little bit stuffy, but I'm good otherwise. Okay, well, I'll just wrap up here by just reminding you all just a simple thing, and that is your mind is the creator of everything that happens around you, your experiences and the way that you experience physical reality. So if there's one thing that you're going to change, it's going to be that. Changing the way that you see things. And changing the way that you see things will inevitably change everything around you for the better. This is the hardest part to do, because this is more real than thinking about something like manifestation. But you read again and again, in the Bible, have faith that things are going to go your way. When you pray in a way where your desire is already fulfilled, where the prayer is already fulfilled, because that's probably the most important thing to consider. Don't pray where you feel like what you want is distant. Don't doubt yourself. Just put yourself in desire fulfilled and really feel it, and remind yourself. Whenever you see something, whenever you see what you want, always put yourself in that position, not where it's so far away and I can't have it and I will never have it, because that's the opposite of exactly what you want. So that's my final words for you all. And yeah, I'm always happy to share my wisdom. I'm always happy to share my ideas with you guys. So I hope to do these lives more with all of you. So stay tuned for that. And with that, I'll head out of here, and I wish you guys the best. And check out my channel as well. Got some videos on there. But yeah, I'm always open to more ideas and questions for you guys. I'm hoping to connect with you guys more in the future. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.